Welcome. Hello. You're in Northern Cal with me, Doug Skinner and Grayson. I'm pleased to be here with you today. I hope you are too. I've been in AI, Gen AI, data analytics for some time, and the last couple years. But this is my first time speaking with someone who has such deep knowledge in the area of Gen AI, and he's showing up for customers in a way that I thought was really exciting. I wanted to share that with you, bring it out to us today. And so coming into today, I've been writing a lot about Gen AI, agentic workflows, automation, the changes that are underway right now in our space, the changes that are impacting sales leaders, business owners, founders, startup founders, RevOps folks, marketing, all really are evaluating at a stage right now where we're evaluating all the changes and the new capabilities brought by Gen AI. So that's one of my big things that keeps me going at this point. And it goes back a few years when I started working sales management, partnerships, and strategic alliances in the software business. I ended up working more recently at Kyocera Document Solutions Development, helping startup founders develop innovative solutions on our digital platform, and just building the playbook for go-to-market strategy with those folks, and helping the product management teams at a global company realize innovation more efficiently by partnering with startup founders. And today we've got a startup founder. I'm sitting with Grayson. It's like we'd love to hear the story, and perhaps you're interested because you're discerning what your go-to-market strategy might be, or you want to try to level up with your existing team. What's that look like? What's the pathway, right? And so we've got some battle scars from our work in that area. We just wanted to have a conversation today to share that. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
How about you?
So we met earlier today, and I was talking about the new project we're working on. So my name is Grayson, like you mentioned, founder of a company called Kai. And the basic idea around Kai is that this entire SEO industry has been built around Google, and all the traffic, goes from Google. But now people are, instead of using Google search, they're using ChatGPT, they're using Perplexity, Gemini, all these different AI models. And so basically, we're building kind of what I'm calling SEO for AI. There are some other names out there, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. But the basic idea is like when your potential customers are going to ChatGPT talking about their problems, is your company the company that's showing up as a potential solution? And so Kai subscribers and Kai customers, we're working with them to be that solution that shows up when people search for their problems on these various AI tools. And so that's what I'm here to talk about, and we'll talk about some other things marketing related as well, for sure.
That's awesome. So our conversation started today when I said, oh, that's very interesting. You're in a space that I just wrote a blog article on the topic of what succeeds SEO, since Gen AI has commoditized content in certain regards. And the answer that I'm dealing with is, how do we describe this? What name do we want to give it? I've heard different experts say, one of them said GEO replaces SEO. I think that was Santosh Sharan introduced it to me. Generative engine optimization. So you've already got an assessment product that you made.
Exactly, yeah. And then on the naming, I just think it's fun. Like GEO, it's kind of an interesting thing. We'll see like where the industry ends up in terms of the name. I've seen GEO. I've seen like conversational AI optimization, so like more of a KAIO, I guess. And that's actually part of where like the name Kai comes from, is conversational AI. But yeah, right now I'm just calling it SEO for AI. Like, you'd be kind of surprised, but some of those acronyms, like people who are very familiar with AI, they might understand like what GEO means. But SEO for AI is kind of like my beginner-friendly like term to describe like what we're doing. But yeah, so the basic thought was, again, like, can we first give people a product where they can just understand like what is their current like situation. So basically the way that we think about this is like, first you need to understand like where your company is. Like, is your company already ranking at the top? When people mention, like, let's say you're HubSpot or a CRM related company, and people are like, hey, I want to better organize my leads and my deals. Are you already showing up at top? Like, that's best case scenario. And the companies that are the companies that have been investing, you know, the past couple of years really into creating content. So that would be like best case scenario. Second best scenario would be, hey, you know, we sort of pushed on the AI and said, hey, maybe don't give us the first couple of results, give us, you know, some of the other upcoming competitors in this space. And then, you know, lastly is like, hey, we tell the AI your exact company name and it still didn't know who you are. And so that's kind of like the worst case like scenario. But basically, kaifootprint.com, you can go on, you can request a brand report, and basically you put in your company name, if there's any competitors that you want to sort of compare yourself to, and what is just like your general solution that you offer, your main like service or product, and it'll output an entire report on all these different like analytics, like your competitive comparison, a lot of like really interesting things, and each week it changes, so we'll have different reports and stuff to go out. And then there's premium functionality that really gets you into, now that you understand like what is your, you know, GEO ranking or whatever, how can you actually like improve upon that ranking and track your progress over time. And so that's kind of like, got the free tool, and just so you can see where you're at. And then once you realize like, hey, this is a priority for me, it's a priority for my business, then you can invest in, you know, the actual premium functionality. So
that's great. Sounds like a fantastic idea for business owners. And if you've been wrestling with certain issues, namely reflected in a pipeline that's not big enough, right? You want to get new accounts, new customers, more revenue. Maybe this is something to look at. What kind of pains do your customers have when they're like finding you?
Yeah.
You want to...
Well, it's kind of funny. Like, a lot of people are very interested in this topic, I would say. Like, if you, you know, talk to most marketers nowadays, they're kind of, you know, roughly interested in like, hey, we've maybe seen our organic search traffic go down. That's actually super common. We work with a lot of startups that, you know, one example, I think they were averaging like 12,000 visitors a month. And then if you look at their last 2 months, it was 7,000 and, you know, 10,000, like on a downward trend. And so that's like a big problem for marketers. And they're not really understanding like, where's the traffic going? Well, a lot of that traffic is like still people searching and talking about them, but in like ChatGPT. And so they don't actually get to see that direct traffic impact. But in terms of like why people might actually go from, hey, I'm kind of interested in this idea, to like, I want to actually, like, this is a priority for me, this is something I want to monitor. Like, one example actually, and you were kind of talking about them earlier, Cluster Truck. So this is a company I used to work at, and now they're like building out a franchise model. And so in the franchise space, like, there's a lot of people who, you have a lot of options if you're trying to franchise. Like, in Cluster Truck is like a restaurant kind of concept. Despite its name, it's a restaurant. But basically, you have a lot of options in the franchise market. And so for them, they were interested in like the custom questions portion. So they want to understand like, hey, people that are searching for like, hey, I want to franchise a business, like those types of things, like what are the results that are showing up? And then if I compare like, hey, I'm trying to decide if I want to, you know, build a Cluster Truck franchise, or if I want to, let's say, open a Subway franchise, like trying to kind of compare the differences between the two. They have a website with like details about their offering, but they have no idea like what ChatGPT says when you ask about stuff like that. And so like, it's gonna vary for everyone, but that's why like where the custom questions comes in, and that's like that more premium functionality. So that's just like one example. But yeah, they just want to understand like, they can't sit there all day and like type in all these things, and yeah, they just want to understand like what is happening, and then how can they improve that. Yeah.
Sounds to me, I'm trying to imagine if I was a business owner looking at my challenge of filling my content, getting more visibility to my site, being able to attract visitors, serving my constituents, my stakeholders, my audience, that the old rules are changing very fast.
Yeah.
And we need a roadmap to move from managing towards search engine to something else. And what does that roadmap look like? How do I traverse that without like breaking the bank? I need an intelligent leader to help me bring through that, and that's what you guys are doing. So it sounds to me like
for our small chunk of the go-to-market equation, we're very focused on like people who are in the like research stage, both in like the higher level of the funnel where you're talking about just problem research, like you want to show up there, and then like down to the specifics. Like if you're evaluating a CRM, for example, you might really care about integrations. And so rather than scrolling through HubSpot's website, scrolling through all the marketing material, HubSpot versus Salesforce, you can just ask ChatGPT like, what is the integration with this other software that's really important to me look like for both of these companies? And it could be completely inaccurate compared to what is actually like the truth on HubSpot, but because it's AI and there's no one like policing like what is the actual output of each like chat, people just don't know. And so that is kind of for the people who are, if you kind of expect your customers would be someone who's using ChatGPT or like doing sort of evaluation, they're probably asking about your company to ChatGPT. And so for those situations, something like Kai is a great fit.
Right, and also people are sitting on lots of capability in their tech stack today. It's just not set up, or the workflow or the process needs a tweak. And I think by continuing the conversation with Grayson and me, people like us, that you're going to put yourself in a better position for success, because we've been there. We've helped companies get better visitations, get more traffic, get better conversions. We didn't talk about that. You did say bottom of the funnel. That's what I thought of. You could use ChatGPT to help with conversions. And all that, one idea could be sufficient to carry you over from the investment of time and money with us. And I'd like to continue the conversation with you. We can't cover everything today, so I invite you to come to my blog and read it. It's gtmsos.substack.com, and we can keep the conversation going there. That would be really great. How about you? How would you like to keep the convo going?
If you're kind of interested in getting like an AI brand report, or just like what is the current state of how AI sees your company and the different competitors in your space, check out kaifootprint.com. That's KAI and then footprint, FOOTPRINT.com. kaifootprint.com. You can submit a free brand report request. You also get our weekly newsletter, which is just like what we learn each week around like this SEO for AI industry. Completely free for both of those things. And I would recommend that as like the best next step.
That sounds really great. Thanks for joining today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Be well. See you next time. Be sure to connect, and we'll be sure to keep in touch with you if you want to. Cheers.